In this training video, we'll discuss how to build assemblies within Onshape. Onshape's Assembly tab is where you'll create assemblies of your product designs. You will define the assembly structures by inserting instances of parts or subassemblies, and then specify how the components are positioned and move relative to each other. To insert instances of parts or assemblies, you'll use the insert command. It's important to recognize a few things about this command. You can only insert entities that reside within the different tabs of the current document, and you can insert single parts, entire part studios, or assemblies. As you're inserting, you have the opportunity to either manually position the component or have Onshape automatically place them in the same position they were built in other tabs. Now in this example, we're only inserting instances of parts, not subassemblies. Even though many of these components were built together, they're free to move once in the assembly, so a good practice is to fix at least one component. To do this, select a component, and then select Fix from the right mouse button menu. You'll see a small icon appear next to the component name in the instance list on the left. To move other components, you simply can click them and drag while depressing the left mouse button, or click a component once to reveal a small triad. This triad has small handles that you can drag to move or rotate the component precisely in any direction. Note that you can also select multiple components and move them together. Okay, let's talk about mates. Onshape uses mates to define how parts are positioned and move relative to each other, but it uses a different approach than traditional CAD. Let me take a second to compare two approaches using a simple stacked block example. In traditional CAD, if I want to affix the small blue block to a top corner of the large gold block, I would most likely use three mates. I'd align the bottom face of the small block to the top face of the large gold block, then align the two sets of side faces. It's three different operations. Onshape captures all this in one operation because it uses mate connectors. You simply select a point on each part to align, and then Onshape determines if the points can move based off the mate type you specify. So for this example, we'll pick the corner point of the two blocks and choose the fasten mate type so they're rigidly connected. Let's insert a second block and describe the process in more detail. Once in the mate command, Onshape highlights common inference points on any surface the cursor passes, and it puts a mate connector coordinate system on the point nearest to the cursor. Simply select the mate connector on one part and then a mate connector on another, and they'll move together. Usually the first part you select moves to the second. If you want to change alignment or rotate the orientation, you can do it from the dialog box. You can even specify an offset as well if you want a little gap or interference. Finally, you can animate the degrees of freedom and make sure you have the right mate type defined correctly. Now here we don't want a ball mate, we want it fully fastened, so I'll change it again and hit accept. Once you master this type of mating, you'll build assemblies faster with less steps. Let's go back to our small work holding clamp and put it all together using this new method. To insert a shaft into the cylinder, I'll use a cylindrical mate and specify mate connectors at the center of both the shaft and the cylinder's hole. Done. To mate the arm to the top of the shaft, I'll pick the mate connector at the top center of the hole and the top center of the shaft. Here I want them to be fastened so that the arm moves with the shaft. Now Onshape really works great for things like O-rings. It picks up the center automatically, so I can easily fasten it to the center of the groove. I can insert one more O-ring and do it again. Wow, 4 mates, and I have a working assembly. Here's a few other things you need to know. You can rename both the mate and the mate connectors. And if you want to make fine edits to the mate, maybe rotate it, say 12 degrees, you can edit the specific mate connector's location. Finally, you can define custom mate connectors, but that's an advanced topic and we'll cover that in another video.